All right, let's take a look at news making headlines further afield. Donald Trump has launched a defiant attack on the investigations against him just hours after appearing before a New York judge. In a speech at his Mar-a-Lago residence, the former president again said he had done nothing wrong and that the investigations were Democrat-led attempts to stop him retaking the White House. It followed a Manhattan court appearance where Trump was arraigned on 34 charges related to hush money payments that he allegedly paid an adult film actress ahead of the 2016 election. Nick Harper is outside Trump's home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. Nick, a very good afternoon to you, South African time. Thank you for your time here with us. Perhaps this speech was the time that Trump has commented on the criminal case against him. Perhaps you could just quickly brief and recap what he said and where to from here for him.
Yeah, good afternoon. It was a fiery speech from Donald Trump. His tone was slightly more somber than we've perhaps seen the former president in the past, but it was certainly no less defiant. And we saw him launching blistering attacks against the Justice Department, the district attorney and the judge in this investigation. He said that this was a persecution, not an investigation. He called the indictment ridiculous, and he said that the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, who has brought this case against him, a criminal, saying that Bragg should be prosecuted or at the very least should resign. He attacked other investigations that are also going on against him, including the one that's looking into the classified documents that were found in his Mar-a-Lago property that you can see just behind me. Those were found last summer. He labelled all of this as a political witch hunt that's been launched by the Democrats to try and undermine his campaign as he runs for re-election ahead of November 2024's election. And in the last couple of hours, he's also been writing on his social media platform, Truth Social. Within that, he has called for the Department of Justice and the FBI to be defunded. He's also said that the Democrats are weaponizing those systems and they're doing it to interfere with the election. So some very strong words from the former president, making it clear that he is, in his words, innocent of all the charges against him.
Nick, political persecution, as he dubbed it, also having declared the U.S. officially a third world nation. Perhaps you could talk to us, how his sentiments, how his speech was received by his supporters in attendance.
Well, there were lots here last night, many more than I've seen since I arrived here on Friday, really hundreds around his Mar-a-Lago property. There were also supporters inside watching that speech. You could hear them laughing, cheering, jeering when he talked about certain Democrat figures in these investigations. They were clearly loving the words of the former president. They are loving seeing him in this role as a battling fighter, battling against the forces of the Democratic Party. So they are very happy with how things are going, and that's being played out in the polls as well. Various polls being done in the last few days after this indictment came out, all of them showing that the vast majority of Republicans still feel that Donald Trump should be leading the party into next year's election, that he should be the nominee. He's certainly seen a huge amount of fundraising take place off the back of these charges. They're all very much saying this is the man for the job. They want to see him in the White House again, and they don't believe any of the charges or any of the other investigations that are going on against him.
Just looking at the scenes outside of court yesterday, even on social media, there seems to be a growing support for Trump. And I wonder how you'd weigh in on the local reaction as well as interest around this case in particular.
Yeah, well, here in Mar-a-Lago, it's an interesting makeup of people. We do see quite a lot of Trump supporters living in this local area, people who regularly, they tell me, come out for protests, for support when Donald Trump is in and around the area. They'll perhaps come out to stand by the side of the road, to wave flags, to hold signs in the hope of seeing the president passing. It is becoming more of a Republican stronghold, the state of Florida. And bear in mind that he does have a huge base right across the country. So his comments, his attacks all seem to be playing well with his base. But remember, there is a flip side to all of this. Democrats who feel that this is a former president who is not above the law, who should be held accountable, and who feel that all of these charges against him are fully justified.
Well, as the chess game continues, perhaps in conclusion, you could talk to, when he's due back in court, and also what is the way forward?
Yeah, this is not going to be a quick process. We're told that Donald Trump will next be appearing in person in court on December the 4th. That's many months from now. And in terms of the trial itself, the prosecution is pushing for a January start date. His legal team say it's likely to be the spring. Various legal experts say it will be a year from now, so the spring seems the most likely. And the timing of that is fascinating, because once we get into the spring, we are very much into the primary season. That is when every single one of the 50 states across America gets an opportunity to say which one of the Republican candidates running they want to be the nominee for the party to challenge Joe Biden. So we will have this interesting scenario whereby Donald Trump is not just trying to campaign and not just trying to visit all of the states, but he's doing that while also being a defendant in a criminal trial. And he'll have to be appearing in court in person, probably many days of the week, and that will make it difficult for him to campaign. But there is a chance, with all that renewed publicity, with all that attention, the fact that he will not be out of the headlines most days of the week, that could help to galvanize his support. It could push his fan base and other Republican voters who are perhaps undecided to say that they want to vote for him. So the timing of this will be crucial, but we're not going to see the trial happening anytime soon, perhaps not even this year.
Nick Harper, let's see how the Catch 2022 situation is managed by both parties. Thank you for your time here on the SABC News correspondent Nick Harper. The latest following the Manhattan court appearance where Donald Trump was arraigned on 34 charges related to hush money payments that he allegedly paid to an adult film actress ahead of the 2016 election. Developments we will continue to monitor.